Chosen One, December 24th, 25th, and 26th are very important for you. Please listen. If you are hearing this message now, it is because a specific window of time is approaching that carries meaning for you personally. The dates December 24th, 25th, and 26th are not highlighted here to create urgency or fear, but to invite awareness. These days form a sequence, not a single moment. For the Chosen One, sequences matter. They indicate progression, integration, and completion. What unfolds across these days is not about one dramatic event, but about alignment taking shape step by step. This is a period where inner readiness meets outer opportunity, where reflection turns into clarity, and where something you have been carrying quietly begins to settle into form. Before we go any further, stay with this message until the very end, because each part builds on what comes before it. And write your warmest wishes in the comments and include 144 as a symbol of alignment and focused intention, allowing this moment to be acknowledged and gently energized as part of a shared flow. Now, Chosen One, press the hype button, like this video, subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel, and let's start. December 24th often arrives with a sense of anticipation. Not always excitement, but awareness. You may feel more reflective than usual, more tuned in to what has passed and what is about to shift. For the Chosen One, this day is about noticing. You may notice patterns, realizations, or emotional signals that were easy to ignore before. This noticing is not accidental. It prepares you. It clears internal space so that what follows can be received without resistance. This day invites you to slow down internally, even if the world around you feels busy. It is not asking for withdrawal, but for presence. When you pause long enough to observe your own state, you begin to recognize what truly matters. December 24th acts as an opening, an internal doorway that allows clarity to begin forming. December 25th carries a different tone. It is often associated with connection, but for the Chosen One, connection begins inward. This day is less about doing and more about being. You may feel a pull towards stillness, gratitude, or quiet appreciation. Even if circumstances are ordinary, there is often a subtle warmth present. This warmth is not dependent on events. It comes from alignment. It signals that something is settling rather than shifting chaotically. On this day, the Chosen One may feel more grounded in who they are now, not who they were earlier in the year. There is a recognition of growth that does not need to be celebrated loudly. It is simply acknowledged. December 25th supports integration. It helps you absorb lessons without reliving struggle. This absorption strengthens you for what comes next. December 26th often functions as a turning point. It is the bridge between reflection and movement. On this day, clarity that formed quietly may begin to translate into direction. You may feel ready to release certain thoughts, habits, or expectations that no longer fit. This release does not feel forced. It feels natural, even relieving. The Chosen One understands that letting go is not loss when it creates space. Across these 3 days, there is a rhythm. Awareness on the 24th, integration on the 25th, direction on the 26th. This rhythm mirrors how meaningful change actually occurs. It does not arrive all at once. It unfolds in stages that allow stability to remain intact. You may notice emotional shifts during this period. Moments of calm, moments of insight, even moments of uncertainty. All of these are part of the process. The Chosen One does not judge these states. They observe them. Observation keeps you grounded. Grounding keeps you receptive. These days are not asking you to make big decisions impulsively. They are asking you to listen to your thoughts, to your body, to your intuition. Listening allows alignment to surface without pressure. What is meant to become clear will do so when it is fully formed. There is also an invitation here to rest, not as escape, but as preparation. Rest allows your nervous system to regulate. Regulation allows clarity. Clarity allows action that is measured rather than reactive. The chosen one honors rest as part of readiness. You may feel less inclined to engage in comparison during this time. Other people's timelines, celebrations, or outcomes feel less relevant. This inward focus is healthy. It protects the process that is unfolding specifically for you. These dates do not guarantee outcomes. They support alignment. Alignment is what makes outcomes sustainable. The chosen one understands that a stable shift is more valuable than a dramatic one. You may also notice subtle external changes, conversations that land differently, opportunities that feel less forced, obstacles that soften. These are signs that alignment is not only internal, it is beginning to reflect outwardly. It is important not to rush interpretation. Let meaning emerge naturally. Not everything needs to be understood immediately. Some realizations deepen over time. December 24th, 25th, and 26th are part of a larger arc, not the conclusion of it. As you move through these days, remain attentive but relaxed. Do not force emotion. Do not suppress it either. Allow experience to unfold as it does. Presence is more important than performance. These dates are important because they mark a shift in how you relate to yourself and what comes next. They are not demanding action, they are preparing you for it. Stay grounded. Stay open. The significance of these days will not always announce itself loudly. Often, it reveals itself through quiet clarity and a steady sense that something is aligning in a way that supports who you are becoming. This is the beginning of that awareness, and as this first phase opens, you are invited to move through these days with attention, calm, and trust, knowing that what is unfolding now is doing so in sequence, with intention, and with care matched to your readiness. As this sequence continues, the chosen one may begin to notice that the days surrounding December 24th, 25th, and 26th feel quieter internally, even if the external world remains active. This quiet is not emptiness. It is attentiveness. It signals that your awareness has shifted from reacting to observing. Observation is powerful. It allows you to recognize patterns, emotions, and insights that were previously overshadowed by noise. During this phase, you may find yourself reflecting without forcing meaning. Thoughts arise, memories surface, but they do not overwhelm you. Instead, they pass through with clarity. This is an indication that integration is taking place. The chosen one does not relive the past to suffer again, but to extract understanding. Understanding brings closure without conflict. You may also notice that your emotional responses feel more measured. Situations that once triggered immediate reaction now invite pause. This pause is not hesitation. It is discernment. Discernment allows you to choose responses that align with who you are now, not who you were during earlier stages of your journey. This part of the process often highlights the difference between urgency and importance. You become more aware of what truly deserves your attention. Not everything needs to be addressed immediately. Some things resolve themselves when given space. The chosen one learns that restraint can be as effective as action. There is often a subtle sense of internal order forming during this time. Thoughts feel more organized. Priorities feel clearer. You may feel drawn to simplify your schedule, your environment, or your mental commitments. This simplification is not avoidance. It is preparation. Clarity thrives in uncluttered spaces. You may also experience moments of quiet gratitude, not tied to specific outcomes, but to awareness itself. Awareness that you are no longer lost in the same cycles. Awareness that you have grown in ways that are now visible to you. This gratitude stabilizes your emotional state and supports the alignment that is unfolding. This phase does not require you to make declarations or set intentions aggressively. It asks you to remain receptive. Receptivity allows insight to surface naturally. The chosen one understands that forcing clarity often delays it, while allowing clarity invites it forward. You may notice that conversations during this period feel different. Either they deepen, or you feel less inclined to engage in surface-level exchange. This is not detachment from others, it is alignment with yourself. You choose depth over noise without effort. There can also be a release of subtle tension you did not realize you were carrying, a sense of relief without a clear reason. This is the nervous system responding to safety. When internal conflict decreases, the body follows. This regulation supports clearer perception. This stage encourages patience without passivity. You are not waiting idly. You are observing, integrating, and allowing. The chosen one remains engaged with life, while trusting timing to do its work. You may also notice that your inner dialogue becomes kinder. Self-criticism softens. Judgment loses urgency. You recognize that growth did not require harshness. This realization creates a more supportive internal environment for what is next. As December 24th, 25th, and 26th continue to approach, there is no need to label each feeling or moment. Let experience remain fluid. Meaning often arrives after the moment has passed, not during it. This phase is about stabilizing awareness. It ensures that when direction begins to emerge more clearly, it does so on a steady foundation. The chosen one values this stability more than speed. Remain attentive. Remain calm. You are not missing anything by moving slowly. You are allowing understanding to form completely. What unfolds during this part of the sequence may seem subtle, but subtlety is often where lasting change begins. And as this awareness deepens, you continue moving through these days with clarity, patience, and a grounded sense that what matters most is quietly aligning. As this progression moves forward, the chosen one may begin to sense a shift in how meaning is perceived across these days. What once required effort to understand now feels intuitive. You are no longer trying to interpret every thought or emotion. Instead, you allow understanding to surface on its own. This shift marks a deepening of trust in your inner awareness. During this phase, your sense of identity feels more settled. You are less influenced by how others are moving through this time and more anchored in your own rhythm. The need to compare, explain, or justify fades. This independence of perception is important. It allows you to experience these days as they are meant for you, not as reflections of external expectations. You may notice that clarity begins to emerge around matters that previously felt unresolved, not necessarily through answers, but through acceptance. Acceptance does not mean resignation. It means recognizing what no longer requires your energy. The chosen one learns that peace often comes not from solving everything, but from releasing what no longer needs attention. This stage also brings a refined relationship with patience. You are no longer waiting with tension. You are allowing with confidence. This distinction changes how time feels. Moments feel fuller, less rushed. You are present without needing to control the pace. Presence is what allows insight to deepen, rather than skim the surface. Emotionally, there may be a sense of stability that feels unfamiliar, but welcome. You are not pulled as strongly by highs or lows. This does not mean you feel less. It means you feel more evenly. This emotional balance allows you to engage with these days without being overwhelmed by them. You may also notice that your intuition feels more reliable. Decisions do not feel forced. You sense when to speak and when to remain quiet, when to act and when to wait. This intuitive pacing reduces friction and preserves energy. The chosen one moves with awareness rather than urgency. This phase encourages you to observe how your reactions have changed. Situations that once triggered immediate response may now invite reflection. This is growth in motion. You are no longer defined by instinct alone, but by choice informed by awareness. There is also a shift in how you experience stillness. Stillness no longer feels empty or unproductive. It feels supportive. In quiet moments, insights surface naturally. The chosen one understands that silence is not absence. It is space where clarity can form. You may find yourself drawn to simplicity during this time, not because you want less, but because you value coherence. Simpler choices feel more aligned. This simplification supports focus and reduces internal conflict. This stage is not about conclusions, it is about orientation. You are orienting yourself toward what matters without needing to name it fully yet. Direction is forming beneath the surface. The chosen one trusts this process without rushing to define it. As December 24th, 25th, and 26th continue to unfold, you may realize that the importance of these days lies not in what happens outwardly, but in how you experience them internally. Internal shifts are often quieter, but they shape everything that follows. Remain attentive without effort. Let insights come and go. Allow emotions to move without judgment. These days are supporting a deeper alignment that does not require force. What is forming now will not demand immediate action. It is preparing you for clarity that will become usable when the time is right. And as this phase settles, you continue through these days with a steady awareness, knowing that meaningful change often begins long before it becomes visible. As this sequence continues to unfold, the chosen one may begin to feel a subtle but steady strengthening of inner alignment. You are no longer adjusting yourself to fit circumstances. Instead, circumstances begin to respond to the steadiness you carry. This is not control, it is coherence. When inner and outer states begin to mirror each other, movement feels natural rather than forced. During this phase, you may notice that your sense of direction becomes clearer without requiring detailed plans. You do not necessarily know every step ahead, but you know what no longer belongs. This clarity simplifies decision-making. The chosen one understands that clarity often reveals itself first through elimination rather than addition. There is also a noticeable change in how you relate to pressure. External demands, expectations, or timelines feel less intrusive. You are able to engage without absorbing stress. This emotional boundary allows you to stay present during these days without being pulled into unnecessary tension. Presence becomes a stabilizing force. You may find that your responses are calmer and more intentional. You listen more fully. You pause before reacting. This pause is not hesitation, it is awareness. It allows you to choose alignment over impulse. The chosen one recognizes that the quality of response matters more than the speed of response. This stage often brings a refined sense of discernment around energy. You become more aware of what restores you and what depletes you. This awareness is not analytical. It is intuitive. You naturally move toward what supports balance and away from what disrupts it. This refinement protects the process unfolding within these days. There may also be moments of quiet confidence that arise without explanation. A sense that you are exactly where you need to be, even if outcomes are still forming. This confidence does not require proof. It is felt internally and carried outward through calm presence. As December 24th, 25th, and 26th progress, you may notice that time feels different. Moments slow down. Awareness deepens. You are less likely to rush past experiences. This slowing allows insight to settle rather than pass by unnoticed. This phase encourages you to remain flexible, not passive, but responsive. Plans may shift. Conversations may take unexpected turns. Instead of resisting these changes, you adapt with clarity. Adaptability is a sign of readiness, not instability. You may also feel less need to fill space with activity or explanation. Silence feels comfortable. Stillness feels supportive. In these quieter moments, you may notice thoughts or realizations that had been waiting for space to emerge. There is also an invitation here to trust the rhythm of these days rather than impose meaning on them. Not every moment needs interpretation. Some experiences are meant to be lived first and understood later. The chosen one allows this unfolding without impatience. This stage supports emotional integration. Feelings that arise are acknowledged without being amplified. You allow yourself to feel without becoming overwhelmed. This balance keeps you grounded and receptive. You may notice that your attention naturally turns toward what feels authentic. You are less drawn to perform, impress, or conform. Authentic engagement replaces obligation. This authenticity strengthens alignment and prepares you for what follows these days. As this part of the sequence continues, you are not being asked to change who you are. You are being asked to notice who you have become. This noticing carries power. It affirms growth without requiring comparison. The importance of these days lies not in external markers, but in internal consolidation. You are gathering yourself, clarifying priorities, strengthening awareness. These processes do not announce themselves loudly, but they shape everything that comes next. Remain steady. Remain open. You are not behind. You are exactly within the rhythm that supports your path. And as this phase continues to settle, you move through December 24th, 25th, and 26th with increasing clarity, aware that alignment is not something you chase, but something you allow to form through presence, patience, and trust. As this sequence continues, the chosen one may begin to experience a deeper sense of internal coherence that feels both calming and empowering. Thoughts align more easily with intention. Emotions settle without being suppressed. Actions feel more deliberate rather than reactive. This coherence is not something you force. It emerges when awareness has been given enough space to mature. These days support that maturation. You may notice that your sense of self feels more intact. You are less fragmented by conflicting desires or external expectations. Instead, there is a growing unity between what you feel, what you think, and what you do. This unity creates stability. Stability allows insight to translate into meaningful movement rather than remaining abstract. During this phase, your standards for engagement may rise naturally. You become more selective with your time, your energy, and your attention. This selectivity is not about withdrawal or superiority. It is about coherence. you recognize that not everything deserves access to your inner space. Protecting that space allows alignment to deepen. You may also find that your relationship with responsibility feels clearer. You are not avoiding it, nor are you overwhelmed by it. You understand what is yours to carry and what is not. This clarity reduces unnecessary burden and prevents overextension. The chosen one learns that responsibility, when aligned, feels grounding rather than heavy. There is often a noticeable softening of self-judgment during this stage. You no longer replay past decisions with the same intensity. You acknowledge mistakes without defining yourself by them. This compassion toward yourself creates emotional room for growth. Growth supported by compassion is sustainable. You may notice that your intuition continues to guide you subtly, not through dramatic signals, but through quiet preferences and gentle nudges. You sense when something fits and when it does not. This intuitive guidance becomes easier to trust because it has proven consistent over time. This phase can also bring a renewed sense of patience, not the kind that waits passively, but the kind that allows processes to complete themselves. You are less inclined to rush conclusions or demand immediate clarity. The chosen one understands that some things become clear only after they settle. There may be moments where you feel a quiet satisfaction that does not depend on outcome. A sense that, regardless of what unfolds next, you are equipped to meet it. This confidence is grounded in experience, not prediction. It steadies you as these days continue. You may also feel more comfortable with uncertainty. Instead of viewing it as a threat, you see it as openness. Openness allows possibility. Possibility invites creativity and adaptation. The chosen one remains flexible without losing direction. As December 24th, 25th, and 26th progress, you may notice that your reactions to others feel more measured. You listen without immediately responding. You respond without needing to defend. This composure strengthens communication and reduces unnecessary friction. This stage encourages you to remain present rather than evaluative. You are not constantly asking what this means or where it leads. You are allowing experience to inform understanding gradually. This approach preserves clarity and prevents mental fatigue. You may also notice an increased appreciation for simplicity. Simple routines feel grounding. Simple interactions feel meaningful. This simplicity creates a stable environment for integration. What is forming during these days needs stability more than stimulation. There is also a subtle joy that may surface. Not excitement that seeks expression, but contentment that feels steady. This joy does not need explanation. It exists because alignment feels real. The chosen one recognizes this as a sign of readiness. As this phase continues, you are not being asked to finalize decisions or commit to outcomes. You are being asked to stay aware. Awareness allows you to recognize what truly matters when it presents itself. These days are important because they support consolidation. You are gathering insights, stabilizing emotions, and clarifying priorities. This consolidation ensures that whatever comes next does not arrive into chaos, but into readiness. Remain attentive. Remain grounded. You are not missing your moment by moving slowly. You are allowing it to form completely. And as this stage continues to settle, you move through December 24th, 25th, and 26th with a steady presence, knowing that what is aligning now is doing so in layers, with intention and with care for who you are and who you are becoming. As this final phase unfolds, the chosen one begins to sense that the importance of December 24th, 25th, and 26th is no longer something to analyze. It is something already integrated. You are not searching for signs or trying to extract meaning. Meaning has settled quietly through experience. What these days offered was not a single message, but a shift in orientation. You are standing differently within yourself. There is a calm authority present now. Not control, not intensity, but steadiness. You trust your capacity to move forward without rushing and without hesitation. Decisions feel clearer, not because everything is known, but because confusion no longer dominates. This clarity is earned. It reflects growth that occurred gradually, often unnoticed at the time. You may notice that your emotional state feels balanced. You are not pulled strongly by highs or lows. Excitement does not turn into anxiety. Reflection does not turn into heaviness. This balance allows you to carry insight forward without distortion. What was realized during these days can now be lived, not just understood. This stage also brings a deeper sense of responsibility without weight. You are aware that what comes next will require care, attention, and integrity. This awareness does not feel burdensome. It feels appropriate. Responsibility aligns with capacity. You are ready to tend what unfolds rather than rush past it. This readiness ensures continuity rather than disruption. There is also a refined relationship with trust. You no longer need frequent reassurance to feel secure. Trust has become internal. You respond to uncertainty with presence rather than fear. You understand now that stability does not come from controlling outcomes, but from remaining aware and adaptable. The chosen one moves forward without armor. You may notice that your communication feels simpler. You speak when clarity is present. You listen without preparing a response. You explain less and embody more. This simplicity preserves energy and keeps focus intact. What matters is carried through action rather than words. As these days pass, there is no sense of loss or pressure to hold on to them. Their impact continues naturally. You understand that meaningful moments do not need to be preserved mentally to remain influential. Integration allows their effect to carry forward on its own. You may also feel a subtle confidence about what lies ahead. Not certainty about outcomes, but trust in your ability to respond. You are not intimidated by change. You are prepared to meet it with awareness. This confidence is quiet, steady, and resilient. This phase reinforces the understanding that alignment is not dramatic. It is practical. It shows up in how you make decisions, how you manage energy, and how you remain present under pressure. The importance of these days is revealed in how smoothly you transition beyond them. You are not being asked to mark an ending or declare a beginning. You are simply continuing, with more clarity than before. The chosen one understands that growth often happens this way, quietly, steadily, without spectacle. As the sequence of December 24th, 25th, and 26th completes, you carry forward a stronger sense of internal order. Priorities feel clearer. Reactions feel measured. Awareness feels stable. This internal order supports whatever unfolds next. There is nothing to rush toward and nothing to hold on to. What needed to settle has settled. What needed to open has opened. From here, movement continues naturally. And as this final phase integrates, you move forward grounded and attentive, knowing that these days mattered not because of what they demanded, but because of what they prepared within you. Alignment is no longer forming. It is present. And from this presence, the next chapter unfolds with clarity, steadiness, and trust. As life continues beyond these days, The chosen one begins to recognize that the significance of December 24th, 25th, and 26th did not end when the dates passed. Their influence carries forward quietly, shaping how you engage with what follows. You may notice that your sense of timing feels more refined. You are less rushed, less hesitant, and more attuned to when movement is appropriate. This attunement does not come from planning. It comes from presence. In this stage, life feels less like something happening to you and more like something you are participating in consciously. You listen more carefully to your own responses. You notice when something feels aligned and when it does not. This awareness guides action without force. In this way, movement becomes intentional rather than reactive, allowing clarity to shape direction without pressure or urgency.